How to install your Real Easy trimmer head. Looking to replace or upgrade your string trimmer head? The RYOBI Real Easy with Speed Winder is the perfect solution. The Real Easy trimmer head installation will vary depending on what style string trimmer or attachment you have. First, determine if you have a curved shaft or straight shaft trimmer, and if it comes with or without an arbor. For safe installation, make sure the trimmer cannot start. For gas trimmers, disconnect the spark plug wire. For battery power trimmers, remove the battery. Take the Real Easy trimmer head apart by depressing the tabs on each side. The contents of the trimmer head are spring-loaded, so keep your other hand over the lower housing while depressing the tabs. Then, separate the upper housing, which includes a spring, spool, and knob, from the lower housing and set these aside. Locate the bolt, nut, line guide, and/or spacer required to install the Real Easy to your trimmer. For trimmers with an arbor, follow these steps. Install the spacer onto the upper housing and slide the spacer and upper housing onto the arbor. Next, place the spring into the upper housing and push down to seat and install the white line guide into the spool. It is important to use the white line guide and not the black line guide for this to assemble properly. Note, when installing, align the keys located on the underside of the guide with the corresponding holes in the spool. Next, insert the spool into the upper housing and onto the arbor. Secure the spool in place by pressing it firmly into the upper housing and installing an M8 bolt into the opening in the arbor. The bolt is different for a curved shaft or straight shaft trimmer. For curved shaft models, install the black bolt and turn clockwise. For straight shaft models, install the silver bolt and turn counterclockwise. In both cases, make sure the bolt is fully screwed into the arbor and do not over-tighten. Next, align the ribs on the knob with the slots in the spool and place the knob onto the spool. Then, slide the lower housing over the knob and onto the upper housing. Push them together until the tabs in the upper housing snap into the slots in the lower housing. The line is now ready to be installed. For trimmers without an arbor, follow these steps. First, insert the M8 nut into the hex pocket of the upper housing. Then, twist the upper housing onto the attachment. Again, for curved shaft models, insert the silver nut and turn the upper housing clockwise. For straight shaft models, insert the black nut and turn the upper housing counterclockwise. If necessary, use a wrench or locking pin to hold the flange washer while tightening the upper housing. Next, place the spring into the upper housing and push down to seat the spring. Install the black line guide into the spool and align the keys located on the underside of the guide with the corresponding holes in the spool. Align the ribs on the knob with the slots in the spool and place the knob onto the spool. Then insert the bump knob and spool assembly through the opening in the trimmer head housing. The final step is to slide the lower housing onto the upper housing and push them together until the tabs in the upper housing snap into the slots in the lower housing. Note, hold the spool by the knob while completing this installation. Contact customer service for assistance at 1-800-860-4050 if you cannot identify the style and type of attachment you have or if you need further assistance.